If you would, turn in your Bibles, Exodus chapter 4, beginning with verse 2 down through 4, reading from the NIV. Then the Lord said to him, speaking to Moses, "What is that in your hand?" "A staff," he replied. And the Lord said, "Throw it on the ground." And Moses threw it on the ground, and it became a snake, and he ran from it. And then the Lord said to him, "Reach out your hand and take it by the tail." So Moses reached out his hand and took hold of the snake, and it turned back into a staff in his hand. And I'm speaking today simply from the subject, loosing without losing. Loosing without losing. Here the Lord told Moses to loose what was in his hand. Turn it loose. Turn it loose. And he wouldn't lose. And he turned it loose, and it turned into something else. And there are things that can never be transformed into something else until you turn it loose out of your hand. Until you let it go from your control, from your influence, from your authority, from your capacity. When you turn it loose, and watch God transform it into something else. But as long as you hold on to it, nothing will happen to it. It is not until a farmer turns loose a seed that it turns into a harvest. It is not until an investor turns loose money that it turns into a fortune. It is not until a man turns loose his seed and a woman turns loose her egg that it turns into a child. And it is not until a parent turns loose their son or their daughter that they will turn into a man or turn into a woman. As long as they stay under your control, under your thumb, under your tutelage, as long as they stay under your direct confines, they can't turn into what they need to become. And so God tells Moses, turn loose the very thing that I've used to lead the people out of Egypt. I want you to now turn it loose. Turn it loose. Turn loose the staff that they gave you. Turn it loose. And this is a message to business owners, that as long as you try to do everything yourself, you're going to limit your business. Turn loose your staff. Turn loose the people on your team. Turn loose your children. They can help you. There's some creativity in them. There's some gifts in them. But there are things that you'll never be able to avail by the team that is around you until you turn them loose. You got to empower them to start thinking like they're already responsible. Thinking like they already have creative gifts and abilities. Turn them loose. When you turn them loose, they'll turn into something else. And I just came to remind you today that until you turn loose what's in your hand, it can't turn into what you need it to become. Until you turn it loose, it cannot turn into what you need it to become. When God has given you something, when you turn it loose, then it'll turn into what God wants it to become. And sometimes you have to let go of everything that is not you so that the image of who you really are can emerge. You have to turn loose everything that is not you so that who you really are, the image of who you really are, can emerge. That's all that a sculptor does to a block of marble. He or she releases all of the pieces of the marble that don't belong to the image. And that's what God does. Sometimes we've been locked into a piece of marble. And God brings his chisel and starts knocking things loose that are around you that reveal to you your real identity. You can't see who you are because you got hunks of marble, rock around you. And until you turn it loose, nothing happens. There are some women that haven't found their identity because they're trying to be like some other woman. But women are not a monolith. Women are diverse. Women are multifaceted. Women are unique. And they might be hewn from the same solid foundation, but for a specialized purpose. And so you can't just look in the Bible and find one woman that becomes an example for all women. You look at Deborah. Deborah was called to be a political and a military leader, and she was. Esther was a beauty queen. Priscilla was a theological instructor. Mary was a mother and a homemaker. You got different women that were different things in the scriptures. You got to find who you are and remove the pieces that are not you, so that the real image of who you are will emerge. It's amazing. Just be who God has called you to be and who God has equipped you to be. Because you have to let go of whatever is in your hand if you intend to multiply. You have to let it go. You have to let it go. Turn it loose. The reason that people don't turn loose stuff is because they're afraid that they're going to lose. So there is a capacity that you have to be able to loose without losing. And see, in our minds, that if I turn it loose, I'm going to lose. If I give you 50 cents, I'm going to lose 50 cents. No. If I lose 50 cents, I'm turning it loose, but maybe I can get back $2. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. St. John chapter 12, verse 24, Jesus said there, he says, verily I tell you, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. It's singular until you let it go. It doesn't have the potential to be even multiply until you turn it loose. And my question to you is, what do you need to turn loose? What do you need to turn loose? Is it a limiting thought pattern, a philosophy? Is it a wrong ideology? What do you need to turn loose that may be hindering your life? It's always so easy to identify what you need to do in order to change your life, but it's hard to accept what you need to let go of, what you need to uproot out of the soil of your life so that you become free and then fertile once again. And see, remember, here's the principle. You have to give up in order to go up. You have to give up before you can go up. It's a simple principle of life. You have to give up before you can go up. What are you willing to give up in order to go up? If you want to go up in your academics, you got to give up some of your free time. If you want to go up on your job and become a specialist and get paid more for the hour, you've got to add more value to yourself that you bring to the hour. But you have to be willing to give up some social time. You got to be willing to give up some leisure time. You got to be willing to give up some sleep time. What are you willing to give up so that you can go up? You got to turn loose being able to pull the covers up. You got to turn it loose being able to sit in a comfortable chair for too long. It's amazing how many people in Scripture were able to loose things before God brought them up, and they loosed it without losing. I mean, Job lost 10 children. He lost his 10 children without losing his commitment to God. You can lose stuff without losing. He lost 10 of his children, all 10 of his children, without losing his commitment to God. He lost his wealth without losing his worship. He said, naked came I into the world, and naked am I going to go out. Blessed be the name of the Lord. He lost his health without losing his hope. What are you willing to turn loose and realize that you still don't have to lose? He lost his popularity with his friends without losing his patience. You think of Joseph. Joseph lost his family without losing his favor. He still had the favor of God. He lost his home without losing his honor. He lost his position without losing his prophetic promise. You can let go of stuff without losing. And here's the deal. I know that we don't like to feel that you're going to have problems in this life, but you will have trials in this world. Jesus told us that. In this world, you will have tribulation. You're going to go through some stuff. You can be nice, you can be sweet to people, you can treat people with kindness, and somebody's going to be nasty to you. I mean, you can give them the best, you can love people with your whole heart, and they'll still do wrong and cheat on you. You can give it your best, and you're going to have trials. He said, in this world, you will have tribulation. He gave it not as a hint, he gave it as a promise. You're going to have trouble in this world. Can anybody testify to say that you done been through a little something, something? I don't care how nice you are, how sweet you are to people, how cute you are. You know cute people have trouble too. You don't get an exempt card just because you're cute. You get problems on a whole nother level. I'm just telling you, you can have money, you're still going to have issues. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you are, it doesn't matter how your physicality, it doesn't matter your mentality, your emotional intelligence, it doesn't matter any of these things. You're going to deal with some issues in this world. But I want you to understand this. Trials are intended to do some things. Trials are intended to make us think. If you never had a trial, you never start thinking. They're intended to make us think. They're intended to wean us from the world. And sometimes God had to let you have trouble to bring your behind out the world. He has to let you have trials sometimes to send us to the Bible. And sometimes he lets you have trials to be able to drive you to your knees. Just think about that. Trials are intended to make us think, to wean us from the world, to send us to the Bible, and to drive us to our knees. God uses trouble. Even if he didn't send it, he uses it. Everything is either God sent or God used. God will even use tragedy to bring some good out, to strengthen you, to strengthen your resolve in him, to bring your joy back. God will help you to be able to transcend stuff that used to get you down. And he wanted to bring a spirit of transcension in your life to help you get over what was getting you down. But here's the thing that I caution you, that when you have hard trials, don't let hard trials harden your heart. Don't let hard trials harden your heart. And I want you to think about this. There are at least 3 gifts that you gain from hardships. At least 3 gifts. Number 1, you get greater insight to what makes you tick. You really do. You don't know what you're made of until you go through some trouble. You don't know what you're capable of and what you're made of. Greater self-awareness means that you'll be better equipped to make better choices next time. So you get greater insight into what makes you tick. Number 2, you get increased compassion for others. Until you have hardship, you don't care anything about other people. Until you've been sick, now you know how to treat other folk when they're sick. Until you've been broke and without not having enough money to be able to eat or sleep or pay your rent and pay your car note, until you've been that way, you don't have compassion for other folks. So it gives us increased compassion for others, increased humility, increased sympathy. It means that you'll support others more readily. And then a 3rd gift that you gain from hardship is resilience. Resilience. Surviving means that you'll be stronger and more flexible and better able to tackle new challenges. Resilient. They can throw you their best shot. And it might take you a little minute to recover, but you're resilient. It means you come back. I'm looking at a bunch of comeback kids today who are resilient because you've been through hell and high water, but you're still here. You came back. And sometimes when you're going through stuff, you don't feel like you're going to make it. You don't know whether I'm going to live through this or die, have a nervous breakdown. You don't know what's going to happen. But I'm looking at some resilient people that's been able to spring back from stuff that took you down to the ground. And here's just a few things that you need to turn loose so that you don't ultimately lose. Turn loose without losing. You have to turn loose your pride. Pride. You know why? Because pride is the strength of sin. Pride is the strength of sin. The only reason that some people don't change is because they're too stubborn because of their pride. Now, you can be wrong and then just scared to even admit to people that you're wrong because of pride. You know, a woman just used to, before we had GPSs, men would just be driving, the wife would be like, honey, are you sure you know that we're going the right way? Why don't you pull over and stop at the service station when we come up to one? I know where I got this. And the stubbornness of his pride wouldn't even let him pull over and stop and ask somebody. And then after 45 minutes out of the way. It's just nothing but pride. Turn loose your pride. Pride is the strength of sin. It's the strength of sin. To change your life, you have to admit what's not working. And the only reason people won't admit it is because of pride. You have to humble yourself. You have to ask for help. You have to learn, and you have to be able to accept it. It takes humility to do that. Pride is the strength of sin. You have to turn loose pride. Number 2, you have to turn loose emotional crutches. You have to turn loose emotional crutches. Because staying small and being afraid and remaining controlled and refusing to take action are all symptomatic of not wanting to lose that which is familiar. And not wanting to lose what is known, and not wanting to lose what is dependable. You have to let go of your emotional crutches. If you've been hurt, you have crutches that help you until you heal. But somehow, we're afraid to put our full weight back on something when you've been using a crutch because we're afraid it's going to hurt us. Because you don't trust that the healing is full. And you know that there's some soreness that's there, and we're afraid to turn loose our emotional crutches. But until you turn loose your emotional crutches, you won't rebuild your muscles. And you have to be willing to make yourself unstable. You know, if you got some issues going on in your back, you know, sometimes they'll put you in a destabilizing situation. Have you ever seen one of those big exercise balls and they put you on there? You're unstable. And it's there to help strengthen your core. And they got you on a ball and you feel really, really unstable, but it's trying to strengthen weak areas. And see, so you have to remove the emotional crutches. Number 3, you have to remove hedonism. Hedonism. You know, that's where you just, hedonism says, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. It's just pleasuring your flesh. It's just the aggrandizement of the flesh, just hedonistic. But let me say this to you. Pleasures will never make us whole. Let me say that again. Pleasures will never make us whole. Pleasures will never make us whole. Because if a man is using sex and pornography in order to feel good, it will never make him whole. If a woman is using drugs or alcohol to help her through difficult things, it'll never make her whole. Pleasures never make you whole. Pleasures never make you whole. Hedonism. You have to turn loose hedonism, where you're just living for feel-good experiences. Number 4, the comfort zone. Same type of idea. Same type of idea. Roy Bennett said that the comfort zone is a psychological state in which one feels familiar, safe, at ease, and secure. And you never change your life until you step out of your comfort zone. Change begins at the end of your comfort zone. You have to turn loose your comfort zone. You have to get up and make yourself uncomfortable. One of the worst traps in the world, the worst prisons, is a comfort zone. It's making yourself easy. Anything that takes effort. Effort, change always requires effort. Requires effort, effort. And if you're in a comfort zone, you don't want to change. Turn loose your comfort zone. When you get ready to grow, when you get ready to go back to school, when you get ready to become more certified, more skilled, you got to get uncomfortable. You have to get uncomfortable. Turn loose the comfort zone. Number 5, turn loose your need for revenge. Let him do me like that. I'll show him. I will key his car. I will flatten every tire. Turn loose your need for revenge. Turn loose your need for revenge. Chris Jamie said that grudges are for those who insist that they are owed something. Forgiveness, however, it is for those who are substantial enough to move on. You got to be willing to say, I'm letting go of this. Whether they ever apologize to me and ask for forgiveness or not, I'm letting go of this, because if I hold, revenge in them, I've got to stay down on the ground in order to hold them down. You have to turn loose your need for revenge. Number 6, you have to turn loose your need for obeying your inner demons. Obeying your inner demons. Because we have to be able to overcome our darkest impulses. It's not just a matter of overcoming them. It is a matter of being able to hear them loudly and choose otherwise. Are you listening? You don't ever get rid of your inner demons. It's a matter of being able to hear them loudly and choose otherwise. Just remember, whenever your inner demons are talking to you, Gary, you know you ain't had none in a long time. Whenever your inner demons are talking to you, man, that's a bad woman. You don't want to turn this down, man. You don't know. Ain't nobody going to find out. Whenever your inner demons are talking to you, you still have the power to choose otherwise. Your inner demons don't have the power of choice for you. You still hold the power of choice. Lay your hands on your chest. So I still have the power of choice. Your demons can tell you they can tell you drink some more, get drunk, stoned, smoke it, hit it again. Come on, it's legal over here. Go to Colorado, plan your vacation. They can present you the choice, but you still have control to say otherwise. That I choose, as for me and my house, I choose to obey God. I hear you, demon, loud and clear. I hear you. I know what you're saying. I ain't stupid. I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Moses chose rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. Sin is always seasonal. It'll only last for a minute, then you feel terrible the next day. It's only for a season. 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 I mean, how much pleasure is that honey bun really going to give you? Is the Krispy Kreme really going to give you? It's only for a season. On the lips and then on the hips. It's only for a season. Listen, you have the power of choice. You have the power of choice. Turn it loose. You got the power of choice, obeying your inner demons. I couldn't resist. I guess something came all over me. You have the power to choose otherwise, no matter how loud the demons are talking. No matter how loud the demons are talking. No matter how loud the demons are talking, because you know there's a way that appears unto man to be right, but the end thereof is destruction. In other words, it leads straight to hell. And I don't care whether the demons are saying right this way, come right this way to hell. No, to hell with you, demons. You go. And I do mean that in the King James sense. You have the power to choose. You have the power to choose. Number 7, your need for certainty. Turn loose your need for certainty. Because I'm going to do it, but I want to be certain that this is going to work. When you wait until you're certain, you're too late. Your need for certainty. Certainty is an illusion of the highest form, because there's nothing guaranteed in life. I want certainty. I want certainty because I'm going to put my money in this investment. Certainty, if you're waiting for absolute certainty, you're going to be too late. I want to make certain that this is the one. By the time that you make certain that that one is the one, the real one might have passed you by. Certainty. And I just want you to realize this, that sometimes your success is not based on what you do, but what you stop doing. What do you need to turn loose? What do you need to stop doing? 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 You know, in Exodus chapter 18, Moses sat from the morning to the evening listening to the problems of the people and then rendering his judgment. And he was visited by his father-in-law, Jethro, who happened to be the priest of Midian. And he told Moses, he says, Moses, and some of this was a bit self-interest. It was a bit of self-interest because remember, Moses is married to his daughter. And he's like, you know, Moses, you ain't a husband you're not worth your salt, Moses. You got my daughter and my grandchildren over there at home by themselves while your behind is standing over here trying to be a savior to 3 million people. Sitting all day listening to the issue. And he says, listen, Moses, let me give you a strategy here. He said, I want you to get some men and make them over 1,000 based on their capacity, and others over hundreds and others over 50s. And let them, and he says, then you reserve your time and energy so that you only have to deal with the hard cases that they can't handle. Moses was a control freak. And God had to use the priest of Midian, Jethro, his father-in-law, to say, Moses, what you're doing is not good. Turn it loose.
Thank you for watching Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner. Join us again next time for Power for Living, where revelation is power. Power for living.